Ladies and gentlemen, two topics today. First one is manipulation, the short-term manipulation we've seen. And look, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these YouTubers who sits here and talks about manipulation every single day. I don't do that because it's not necessary, but there's very rare occasions where I'm looking at the Bitcoin charts and I'm like, okay, this is just clearly manipulated price action, and this is very much one of them. I mean, the suppression of the Bitcoin price over the last week, but most specifically in the last 36 hours has been unreal. And there's really no other justification, and I've got pure evidence for it. And again, whenever people say manipulation, people like to think that, you know, analysts are just saying manipulation so that they can justify the fact that something unexpected, you know, that they didn't expect to happen, happened. That's not the case here at all. In fact, nothing, in my view, has happened that is unexpected yet. We're still holding the macro support zones. In my opinion, Bitcoin has a macro support here at this level, not only via horizontal support zone, but also via very, very clear, 13-year ascending support line, bull market support band, price cycle center lines. They all line up in this region. The same story on total 3 cryptocurrency market cap. There's a lot of support in this region, and you know, that support hasn't broken down yet. So it's not like we've seen something radical and I'm just blaming it on manipulation. It's just an objective claim that, you know, looking at the short-term data, it is insanely clear that there is price suppression going on here. You look at the CPI release, it led to a pump. CPI was incredible. You know, we saw an incredible CPI release, much more bullish than expected. We went right upwards, and then within hours we were back downwards because FOMC, by the way, was completely fine. It was exactly as expected, but Jerome Powell said there'd be 1 rate cut rather than 2 this year, and so obviously we took a justifiable hit. But then yesterday we had PPI and unemployment come out, and I'll tell you right now, the PPI data we saw was literally, I mean, it was the most bullish PPI data we've seen in over a year. And the unemployment data was exactly the same story. So we had 4 macroeconomic events. 3 of them were the most bullish we've seen in over a year. And 1 of them was like not even bearish, it was neutral. It's just a few comments Jerome Powell made. And Bitcoin stagnates, it goes sideways. In fact, it goes downwards. And you might think, oh, well, Wolf, maybe you're just wrong about the data. Well, that's not true, because if you look at the S&P 500, you look at traditional markets, you can see that in the same period of time, due to the same events that usually affect Bitcoin, the events that were, you know, most bullish we've seen in over a year, potentially even 2 years, okay? You know, S&P's up 2.5% in 2 days, which is almost unheard of. I mean, you don't see the S&P going up 2.5% in 2 days very often whatsoever. More specifically, 2.5% in 36 hours, okay? You don't see that. In fact, if you wanted to take it to 2 days, you take 48-hour measurement, you can see the S&P upwards nearly 4%, okay? This doesn't happen. It doesn't happen unless the data is bullish. The data was so bullish. I mean, every other market is up, yet Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is sitting on this support like it's a fucking mime, you know, in a subway station frozen. It's crazy. So, you know, this is clear price suppression here. And I know how it sounds. Oh, look, the YouTuber's saying it's price suppression. But I want to make something very, very clear. I'm not saying it's price suppression or manipulation because I was wrong. I haven't been wrong. We're still on the same support level. Nothing has happened here that is unexpected. The macro is still intact. It's just clearly price suppression. So, look, who knows what's going to happen next for that reason? It's so hard to say because the price has had so many bullish catalysts in the last 36 hours, and none of them have been taken as a means to pump. So it's like, what even do we expect here? Who knows? But I mean, currently we're on support. Currently it could be a double bottom formation. Doesn't look too bad. You know, Bitcoin doesn't look too bad in general. It's on major support through price cycle, the short EMA, I should say. Or the high EMA, I should say, the high short EMA on the price cycle, the yellow line right there. That's the same, just pay attention to the yellow moving average, okay? That's the same moving average that led us to find a bottom back here during the ETF position, the ETF approval, sorry, the drop we saw because of that. It's the same level that led to the low here during the 57K bottom, and it could lead to the low here again, and a bounce from that region right now. You know, right now, everything's fine. But the reason I titled this video what I titled it is because, you know, it's very difficult as an analyst to analyze a market that is being clearly manipulated. You can't really, because TIA doesn't really matter anymore. Now, I could say, you know, we have a structure that is pressing Bitcoin against support here. That's going to be ending, you know, basically within a 12-hour period, and perhaps we'll see a move within 12 hours back to the upside. But then again, there's a larger structure, you know, this larger yellow line here, that's compressing Bitcoin against support, and that's only ending over here, you know, in 5 days. So it's like, well, you know, I guess we're going to be seeing a move within 5 days, but 5 days is a pretty long period of time. We can't really get more specific than that. What I can say is that in order for Bitcoin to validate a move back to the upside, in order for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole to get out of this tough position that it's in, we need to be breaking this daily chart RSI resistance and breaking this larger yellow line resistance right here that I've just kind of outlined a few times with my cursor there. Those things need to break to get back in the clear. And more specifically, as I've said before, like, you know, I said yesterday, and I highly recommend you guys watch yesterday's video. We go over the macro quite extensively in yesterday's video. As I said, you know, Bitcoin's got room to move. Bitcoin can move downwards a bit further. You know, we've got this 13-year support line. We've got the price cycle center line. We've got bull market support band. There's various other indicators. I just like to focus on those three because they're the most precise historically. And they all are kind of sitting around the same level, and they're all kind of sitting around the 61K level. 61K, of course, is the bottom of this macro range. If we delete this line so we can make it a bit clearer, 61K being this blue level, 57K retest was a justified deviation to retest the levels that I just spoke about. Okay, these levels here, that was a 57K retest. So the actual range ends at 61K. Now all of the levels have shifted upwards over time and they're sitting at 61K. So realistically, right, Bitcoin can go to like 61K. I mean, it's got room to move. And so realistically, Bitcoin dropping down wouldn't be the end of the world. It wouldn't be good though, because it would be dropping back below a structure that we've held for support for a month and a half and a structure that we face for resistance for another month and a half. So it wouldn't be good news, but it wouldn't be the end of the world of macro. The problem would be the altcoin market. And this is where we get into the bearish scenario. Like, I wouldn't even say it's a bearish scenario. I'd say it's just a scenario of unknown, because we would never have seen anything like it before. You know, the altcoin market cap is in a much more pressing position than Bitcoin is. And this is why I'm completely, to be honest with you, like I said it yesterday, I'm actually astonished that people aren't treating this period of time right here as entirely crucial. People are kind of flippant about this, like, oh yeah, the market can go down more, no problem. Guys, if the market goes down more, we break the entire macro structure. That is the only validating reason at this point that remains for us seeing an altcoin season and parabolic altcoin bull market, right? Rewind and listen to what I said again. If we break this, we're fucked, okay, on altcoins. And I don't swear very often. That's the simple reality. And I want to clarify as well, when I say the F word there, when I say that if we break this, we're fucked, this is probably the most I've sworn in a video ever, by the way. I'm not saying that like, oh, we're guaranteed to go down into a bear market. I'm saying we have no macro data left. So altcoin investing is just gambling at that point, because the only reason that altcoin investing right now is a justifiable thing to do is because of this particular structure right here. It's the 5-step structure. I'll explain it right now. Okay, step 1 being bottoming out, step 2 being the first kind of bounce, step 3 being the first consolidation, step 4 being the final consolidation and retest of bull market support band alongside retest of the RSI line, step 5 being a parabolic bull market. Guys, we are in step 4, which means we are on the final step. Okay, we are on the final step before that alleged parabolic bull market. And of course, you know, Bitcoin has room to move downwards, but altcoins do not, because they are already testing their critical support levels. Again, Bitcoin's critical support levels at 61K. Altcoins' critical support levels are right here, right now, being tested currently as we speak. So if Bitcoin moves downwards below its support zone, okay, and drops downwards to, you know, something like 64K, which is another minor support zone, or 61K, altcoins don't have the same room to move. Altcoins destroy their macro structure. Altcoins go downwards into breaking the macro structure, and there would be no macro trends remaining that would suggest that altcoins would enter a parabolic bull market in an altcoin season. Maybe it will happen, but it won't be supported by the macro trends. Maybe it just won't happen. Maybe that will be the end of altcoins as a whole. And I suppose the bears right now, which I don't listen to cryptocurrency YouTubers, but I can say that in my own head, I can make a bearish argument and say, what I would say is I would say that if total cryptocurrency market cap, total 3 cryptocurrency market cap breaks down, if the altcoin market cap breaks down, and we break these structures, we break below this RSI support zone, we break below bull market support band, price cycle center lines, we're breaking the entire macro structure itself, and we'll be put in a position where we have no idea what's going to happen next, and we'd be put in a position where altcoin investing is literally gambling. And furthermore, the justification for that in hindsight would be, well, Bitcoin has already gone ahead and broken some key macro structures. Like, Bitcoin's had structures that it's broken in this bull market for the first time. For example, it broke above all-time highs before the halving, first time ever. It broke above all-time highs before the halving without seeing a significant pre-halving correction from the level that it was meant to occur at, which was 49K. That's never happened before. We've done things already in this bull market that have never happened before. I mean, that's just a plain fact. And we've looked into them extensively on this YouTube channel. And so, given the fact that we've done things that have happened, that have never happened before in this cycle, it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to think that we could just do another thing that's never happened before. Like, we've already done things that haven't happened before. Us breaking down here on total 3 cryptocurrency market cap would just be another thing that we haven't done before. And so it wouldn't be like completely out of nowhere, oh, who could see it coming? It was like, it would just be another step away from regular cyclical theory, which we are already in the process of breaking. I mean, as I've said on this YouTube channel, I currently believe, and I don't believe there's any evidence for anything I'm saying right now currently, okay? But if we move a little bit more further down, there will be. But I've already said that if we see a regular bull market here, which I expect at this time, let's be very clear, if we see a regular bull market here, I've already said that I think it won't look like a regular 4-year cycle bull market with a top in October 2025. Okay, I've said that if we see a regular bull market here on a structural basis, it will top out earlier than expected, and we will break the Bitcoin cyclical structure. I believe we'll break the Bitcoin cyclical structure this cycle, regardless of anything. The question is, when do we break it? Do we break it after the bull market, or do we break it right here before the bull market really kicks off? That's the question. And that's a question that's very hard to answer. And it's a question we can't answer. We actually can't answer it right now because, as I said, the macro structures that make up the regular cyclical structure are still currently intact. They have not broken yet. And until they actually break, we can't really say they're broken. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. We can't say it's broken until it's broken. There's no point predicting it because all of the historical data, right? The trend that has lasted for years, the only thing that's ever occurred is these trends. So for us to say, oh, they're going to break right here, like based on what? Like what gives you the authority to say they're going to break here? They've never broken before. There's no everything currently is regular. There's no indication they're going to break. Like, you can't really say they're going to break here. You just have to wait until they either break or hold. So that's really the problem that we're facing right now. And it's like, well, then there's a further question, and this is what makes this market environment so challenging. It's like, the further question is, well, if altcoins break down, because Bitcoin's got breathing room, if the altcoin market cap breaks down, does that mean that Bitcoin enters a bull market by itself? Right? Does that mean because the macroeconomic data is still bullish. Like, the S&P's in a bull market. The S&P's are likely to go upwards. If altcoins break down here and they break their regular structure, then does Bitcoin just continue by itself and altcoins just get left behind? Like, what happens? Like, we don't, there's no way of knowing this. There's just no clarity. And so I think it's very, very important, okay, that these levels remain. Like, I can't stress it enough. Like, if we want any sort of macro predictability in the upcoming bull market that we are likely to see, we need these levels to hold. We need Bitcoin to hold this level roughly. Yes, okay, it can see a brief wick downwards to something like 64K. Yes, okay, the altcoin market cap can see a brief wick downwards to something like 550 billion. That can occur because that is still a horizontal level. But for the most part, like on a macro scale, these levels need to hold. Otherwise, we are being thrown into a situation we have never been thrown into before, and we won't really know how to navigate that situation very well at all. I mean, my first inclination would be, okay, let's cling to the macroeconomic data. Let's cling to the traditional markets. Let's move away from cryptocurrency trends and try find trends elsewhere in other markets. That would be my first inclination. But I mean, let's hope we don't get to that point. So I'm telling you right now, and I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. This level is So crucial. There's just no way around it. Every analyst who has half a brain is saying the same thing. And if they are not saying that, what are they saying? Because like this is it. Like this is the ascending support level and the RSI, bull market support band, price cycle. Price cycle's never been wrong, guys. It's never been wrong. These are all indicators that have never been wrong. These are all indicators even on a structural level that have always been correct. And if they are wrong here, what's next? We don't know. So yeah, like as I said, I'm macro bullish. These levels are holding currently. We really need to bounce on them. We really need to bounce on them. And I really, again, don't want you to sit here and take this video as if I'm bearish, but to say that I'm not concerned is ridiculous. Of course I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. We are on the, we move 10% down as we break everything. I'm extremely concerned, and you should be too. So watch this price action extremely closely. And if you watch this YouTube channel for any period of time, you know that I'm not one to, I don't know, get emotional, I guess. But I mean, it comes to a point where it's like, if you're not really concerned here, what are you? Are you chilling? Like, you shouldn't be. You should be concerned. So watch it very closely, guys. Thank you for watching, though. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll update you on the situation tomorrow. Check out the BitGet and BingX and Bitunix exchanges. These are our 3 exchanges that we advertise on the YouTube channel. They've got our referral links down below. If you want exchanges with low trading fees that have never been hacked before, these 3 will suit you quite well. My referral link down below will give you 15% trading fee discounts for life. Moving forward, we've got the VIP group on Telegram. We trade altcoin trading signals 4 to 5 times a week, 77.51% win rate. Very profitable historically. We've also got a group chat involved in that membership. So if you want VIP trading signals as well as group chat membership with the exclusive discussion of the charts, etc., 24/7, that's where you can get it. And then finally, the Crypto Academy's Become a Trader bull market sale, teaching you how to trade, everything you need to know about trading. TA that works not only on the crypto market, but also on traditional markets and any other market that you want to be trading with the chart. So check that out as well. It's a discounted price for a limited time. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow. Cheers.